Good morning, children. This is KG Misra with the next video lecture of class 10th of chapter electricity is again in front of you. But before starting the lecture, let me remind you again, this is the lockdown period, okay? And we must take care of the rules cited by the government and the health agencies. And when we are moving out, you must use the mask to protect yourself as well as your family members, okay? कहते हैं ना, if life is there, then you can do everything, okay? So life is very, very important. At the same time, you must focus on your studies also, so that you can excel in your future. So today's topic is Joule's law of heating. Now see, we know one thing, no? What is the formula for potential difference? You know with this very well. Potential difference is work upon charge. From here, what we can write? Can we write W is equals to QV? Now see, what is this work? See, if a circuit is there, no? In that circuit, if you got a battery, okay? So this battery used to work for what? In order to maintain the current in the circuit, it has to work. And when it is working, what it is sending? Charge. Battery is sending the charge through the circuit to maintain this current. Okay. And it is applying potential difference V. So as it is applying potential difference V and sending charge Q. So what we can say? Work done is QV. And whatever work it is doing to maintain this current in the circuit, what happens? When this current passes through this resistor of resistance R, then this resistor offers resistance, means opposes the current, and due to that what happens? A heat is generated. The electrical energy gets converted into heat energy. And how much heat energy? We have also written, note, instead of W we can write energy. Energy is how much? It is QV. Now see, if we divide it by time and multiply it by time, what you will get? Q by T is what? It is I, and here is V. So you will get IVT, or you can write rearranging VIT. How can you remember this? This is the heat energy, and that's why instead of E we can write H. So heat energy is produced how much? VIT. How to remember this? It is value institute of technology. Okay, in this way you can remember. So this is the heat produced in a circuit which has got potential difference V is applied across it, okay, and current I is flowing, and it is flowing for time T. More the time, more heat will be produced. And we know that, no, according to Ohm's law, we know that V is equals to IR. Okay, when we put this value V is equals to IR here, what you will get? You will get H is equals to, instead of V, you will get IR. So IR and again I, again T. So what you will get? I into I square RT. That's what you will get. You will get I square RT. Okay. So in this way, we come to know that whatever work the battery is doing to maintain the current, that produces the electrical energy in the circuit, and that electrical energy when passes through the resistor, then it gets converted into heat energy in the resistor, okay, and that heat energy has got this expression. Now this was given actually by James Prescott Joule, okay, and what he told, let us discuss that first. Okay, what he told, let us discuss that. He has told, no, if suppose start writing, okay, write the statement for Joule's law of heating. It states that when a current I is flowing through a circuit of resistance R for time T, then heat generated in the resistor is H will be directly proportional to the square of current. That is what we can write. H is proportional to I. This is observation number 1. Okay. And second one is heat is directly proportional to resistance. That is H is proportional to R. What is third one? Heat produced is directly proportional to time. That means H is directly proportional to T. These three things will go. That means if more current is flowing, then more heat will be produced. If resistance is more, again more heat will be produced. If the current is flowing for longer duration, more heat will be produced. If for shorter duration, less heat will be produced. Okay. So when you combine these all the three equations, okay, from equations 1, 2 and 3, we get what we get. See, we get H is proportional to I square RT. That's what we get. Okay. And you know very well, whenever there is a proportionality, we can remove it or we can replace it by equality, but we have to place a constant. That is constant of proportionality. Obviously, we are going to do here also the same thing. H is equal to a constant K, I square RT. But my dear children, experimentally it has been found that K is equals to how much? 1. Like you have done in when you are deriving the expression for Newton's second law in class 9th. The same way K is 1 here. So what will get? H is equals to I square RT. This is the expression for heat produced in a resistor or in a circuit of resistance R when current I is flowing through it for time T. Now, there can be expressions of 3 types, okay, or we can say 3 forms of this equation are there. Why 3 forms? Because see, in the Ohm's law, what we are having? We are having V is equals to IR, okay. Out of those 3 variables, how many variables are appearing in this equation? What you will find? How many variables are there? Only 2, I and R. Now, if you are taking 2 variables at a time, how many pairs you can make? Obviously, you can make I, R, first pair. Second, R into V, R, V, okay. Third pair, you can have VI, okay. So, 3 pairs are possible. So, you can have 3 equations. Now, how to do that? See, you have got I and R, okay. Next, you can have R and V. So, you have to remove I from here. So, from Ohm's law, what we know? From Ohm's law, so from Ohm's law, what we can write? See, we want to remove I from here. So, if you want to remove I from here, so I is equals to V upon R. So, what we can write? I is equals to V upon R. So, I square will be how much? It is V square by R square. That's what we can write. Okay. So, if we mark this equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So, from equations 1 and 2, what we will get? H is equals to, instead of I, we will write V square by R square. And that is R is there and T is there. So, this R and this square will cancel out. So, what we will get finally? Finally, we are going to get the next expression, that is H is equals to V square by R into T. This is the second expression, which is in terms of V and R. Now, we have done in terms of I and R. We have done in terms of V and R. What is left? V and I. So, we have to remove R. Again, from Ohm's law, what we know, V is equals to I R. So R is equals to what? V upon I. That's what we have to place here at the place of R. When we are going to place this is equation number suppose 3 and this is equation number 4. So from equations 3 and 4, okay, from equations 3 and 4, what we will get? Let's see. From equations 3 and 4, what will get? H is equals to V square. T is there, no problem at all. Instead of R, what we are going to write? V upon I. So V upon I. And you know, when we divide a number by a fraction, then we can reverse it and multiply it. So what we are going to get? V square into T multiply I upon V. Now, this we will cancel out with the square of V. So what we will get finally? We will get V I T. See here, this square gets cancelled out. We are left with V only, T and I. V T I, so V I T. Okay. So next, what we got? V I T. Vellore Institute of Technology. You can remember like this. This is the, you can write equation of 5. So we have got the 3 expressions which are expressing the equations for heat produced in the resistance of a circuit when current I is flowing through it for time t. Now, how to realize this? These are the mathematical things, but how to practically realize this? Suppose you have got a bulb, okay? You know, 100 watt bulb is there, and that 100 watt bulb is connected in a holder. So you just touch it and check it. Oh, it's cool. Okay, no problem at all. It's cool. You do one thing, switch it on. Again, after just 1 minute, just touch it. Okay. What you will find? It has become hot. Now, after 10 minutes, just do and like don't touch, don't hold it. Okay. Otherwise, you may get burned. So just touch it like this. Okay. What you will find? It is more hotter than earlier. So that means as the time is passing, the heat increases. That's why time is present over here in all the expressions. Okay. More the time, more heat is produced. Now, after this, what is the unit of this energy produced? Obviously, we know that unit for energy is what? It is joule. After the name of this great scientist, James Prescott Joule, the unit has been named joule and it is denoted by J. Okay. Okay. So the next topic is applications of heating effect of current. Now, how we use this heating effect of current? See, we are very familiar with the applications of heating effect of current. I think all of you might be using this electric iron. Okay. See, electric iron, what it does? It becomes, when you connect the plug, okay, and switch it on, it becomes hot. And once it becomes hot, no, then you can use it to press your clothes. Okay. And you know, when you press your clothes become so nice, no. So how it is working actually? See, it has got a coil, resistance coil, okay. And when current is passing through this, then becomes hot. And it is enclosed in a material. That material, actually it can be mica. Mica, you know, which is called abrak in Hindi. India is one of the greatest exporters, okay. It used to send to the foreign countries. It is greatest producer of this. And mica has got a property that it is a good conductor of heat and bad conductor of electricity. So it will not pass electricity through this. It will pass only heat. And so this is enclosed in a body, and you know, this is in contact with the metallic surface. And that's why when you touch this metallic surface, no, what happens? You don't get shock. Only what you feel the warmth. Okay. Now, you might be thinking how this mica looks like. Very nice. I think you might have seen the Abir and Gulal, okay, during Holi. So you might have found, no, in this Abir or Gulal, there are small particles which are very shiny, which appear like a glass, very shiny, okay. That is actually mica, okay. So that is mica, that is that material. So This is the one of the applications of heating effect of current. Second is, yes, this wire, actually resistance wire, they are made of alloys. Okay, there are some alloys. Okay, you know alloy. What is alloy? You might have studied in chemistry. We combine certain metals, okay, and maybe non-metals also in certain ratio to get an alloy. Generally, we combine the metals. Now, why we make the alloys? So that they have got high resistance. And one more thing, as we know that no resistance increases with temperature. So these alloys, their resistance remains unaffected with the temperature up to few hundreds of degrees Celsius temperature. Okay, and that's why we use this. Because if the resistance keeps on increasing with temperature, then what will happen? A point of time will come when it is very much heated, then current will stop flowing through this, and that then what will happen? Then again it will not remain heated, okay, for longer, and that's why we use such a material, no, whose resistance does not increase, okay, appreciably when the temperature is few hundreds of degrees Celsius. Okay, now next application is bulb. The material alloys which are used, that is called tungsten, manganese, tungsten. Okay, these are the alloys. Now we use bulb, electric bulb. You might have seen in bulb what you will find. Filament is there. This filament, you know, when the current passes through this, like this, it gets heated, and when it's heated, it becomes red hot. When it becomes red hot, then what happens? It produces heat and light both. And so this is again heating effect of current. Now a question is asked sometimes, no, when current is flowing continuously through this, okay, and it has become bright, okay, it is spreading light and heat both, then why its temperature does not keeps on increasing always? Okay, because see, if the temperature will keep on increasing always, then what will happen? This bulb should get melt, okay, but it is not melting. Why? That means temperature is not increasing continuously. It is increasing up to certain level and then remains constant. Why it is that? Because see, after getting heated up to a certain temperature, high temperature, what happens? The heat produced in 1 second is equal to heat lost to the surrounding in 1 second. So whatever heat is produced every second, the same amount of heat is lost to the surrounding. So a equilibrium is maintained, and that's why its temperature becomes constant. Okay, and that's why it gives a constant amount of brightness. Now, what are the next other applications? You know, you might be knowing this heater, electric heater, no? In electric heater, you know, like this, no? Coils are there, okay? And when you place the things over it, no, you can use it for cooking, okay, or for some other purpose. It is being used. Even this room heaters, you might have coils, okay, through which when current is passing, it produces heat, and due to that the room becomes hotter. Even see this immersion rods, they are also the application of heating effect of current. Okay, so like this we have got lots of heating effects of current. Now after this we will go to some safety measures. Okay, so next is safety measures. Okay, so among the safety measures, see, we know that electricity, you know, it is gives shock, okay, and people also they die, okay, when they are come in contact with electricity. So it is very dangerous also and very useful, as we know. So what are the safety measures we must take? See, first safety measure I will talk to you, know, whenever these wires are running, no, to a board, what you find? You will find 3 wires are there: a red, okay, blue or black, and green. Okay, this red one it is called live wire. This is neutral. Okay, and this is called earthing. Okay, now what is the use of this earthing? You might have seen this, no? Plugs of heavy devices like fridges, AC, coolers. Okay, you will find the plugs are like this. Here you will find a big pin is coming out. Here a very thin pins are coming out. Okay, this thick pin is there, no, that is for earthing. So when you connect to the board, no, this get connected to the earthing, and one of them gets connected to the live, another of them gets connected to the neutral wire. Now why this is connected to this earthing wire? What is the use of this earthing? See, this earthing wire, which is it is connected to a wire and then to a copper plate, and this copper plate is buried under the earth. And what we do, we put some salt and water. Why? Because you know, when salt is dissolved in water, then it becomes good conductor, and that's why. So why we are putting this earthing? What is the need of this? See, my dear children, all the current goes to the earth. Whatever current being used throughout the earth, no, it is goes to the earth, and then also the potential difference of earth is zero. That means it is the sink of charge. Sink of charge means if whatever charge you are going to give it, doesn't matter, its potential will not change because it has got very high capacity. Okay, so whenever your device, suppose your fridge is there, okay, and live wire, okay, somewhere it is open and it got connected, or it is came in contact with the body of the fridge, then what do you expect? Obviously the body of the fridge will conduct that electricity, and the current will flowing in the body of the fridge. And once you will touch the body of the fridge, what will happen? You expect shock from it, but that will not be very dangerous. Why? Because of the presence of this one. You know why this thickness is more? Because we know that resistance is equal to rho L by A. When it is thicker, then area of cross section is more. When area of cross section is more, then resistance is less. So this has got least resistance. When it has got least resistance, then what will happen? Whatever current is there in the body of the fridge, that will flow through this to this wire, and this wire will take that current to the earth. Now, when you are touching the body, the current has got two paths. One this path, which is the low resistance path, another your body. Suppose this is you, okay, and you are touching the body of the fridge. Okay, here the fridge is there. So this is the fridge. So what will happen? The current always prefers the path of lower resistance. So rather than flowing through your body, it will flow through this and will go to the earth. So it will save you. So earth is a safety device. Okay, it is a safety device. Okay, it is used. Earthing is used to protect people from getting shocked, and that's why you find 3-pin plugs are there. Now another safety device which is very important, that is called fuse. You might have heard about this fuse, no? People used to say fuse ud gaya hai. Okay, the fuse is blown off. So what is that? What the fuse is actually? Fuse is a metallic wire, okay, which has got low melting point. Okay, low melting point and high resistivity. So its resistance will be high and it has got low melting point. This is a wire, and you might have seen, no, the fuses, earlier the stone fuses were there. Okay, the wire coming from outside, okay, and it is connected here. A metallic part is there, and here one more metallic part is there. Okay, and this is another piece of stone is there, in which what you do, a clamp is there here and a clamp is here, and you used to put this wire like this, and when you connect this, then both gets connected and current flows. This is connected in series with the household circuit or all the circuits, okay, near the mains. And when it is connected in series, then what happens? Whatever its current is passing or coming to the house or the factory or whatever is there, it is passing through this and then reaching to the house, okay, for further use. Now see, if there is a fluctuation of current due to certain reason, then what will happen? That current will first pass through the fuse. As it has got high resistivity, it will get heated up. As it has got low melting point, it will melt. As it will melt, the current will not reach to the other devices. So other devices will remain protected. Okay, and that's the way the fuse used to protect all the other devices as well as your wiring of your house or your school or your other buildings. Okay, one more thing, As already we have discussed about the positives of parallel combination and negatives of series combination. Now question arises how the circuits are connected at our house or in the school or in the cinema halls, okay, or in the factory industries. See, the connection is parallel combination. Remember this. That's why, if you switch off one bulb, other bulbs don't get switched off. If one bulb is fused, other bulbs are still working, because they all are connected in parallel combination. Okay, so this was another safety measure, that is fuse. Now let's go for the next. Okay, now see, there are two terms, short circuiting and overloading. Now question arises, what is short circuiting and what is overloading? See, as I have discussed with you about the red wire, and suppose this is blue or black wire. Okay, this is live and this is neutral wire. These both the wires have got insulation over it, and see, due to means use for longer time, what happens? No, the insulation which is there over these wires. See, this is the insulation. It has also got insulation, no, like this. This is the insulation, it is heavy. This is also having insulation. Okay, the wire is at the center of this. Let's see. Now suppose this insulation, due to certain reason, suppose it is due to wear and tear, it is removed. Okay, and both the wires come in contact. Then what will happen? Both the wires are coming in contact. When both our wires are coming in contact, that means no device is connected between them. When no device is connected between them, that means the resistance between them is very low. When the resistance is very low, then the current flowing through them will be very high, and that huge current which flows due to this contact, that causes spark, and it may cause fire also. And my dear children, the fire which breaks or which causes due to this short circuiting, this is short circuiting, okay, cannot be put off by using water. If you are using water, it is going to increase more and more, and it will be of huge destruction. So it is advised to put sand or dust over it, so that the supply of oxygen is cut. Okay, and if the supply of oxygen is cut, then what will happen? The fire will be switched off by itself. It will put off by itself. Okay, so this was your short circuiting. Now next is overloading. Now what is overloading? Let me tell you what is overloading. This happens generally in our houses, and mostly in the summer time. What we do actually, suppose you have got a plug point over here in your switchboard. Okay, this is a plug point you are having. What we do? We use a 3-pin plug over it, okay, which is connected to a extension, and this extension has got lots of plug points, okay, like this, and we connect lots of devices to this. We connect a charger to this, suppose we connect a cooler to this, we connect a fridge to this, okay, we connect a TV to this. So what happens? They all require different amount of current. Now suppose this requires 2 ampere current, this requires suppose 3 ampere current, this requires suppose 5 ampere current, and this requires suppose 7 ampere current. What will happen? 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 5, 10, 17. So the wire which is connected behind this, that has to carry how much? 17 ampere of current. But it is capable of carrying how much? Suppose 10 ampere of current. Then what will happen? More current is flowing through this, and it is capable of carrying only 10 ampere of current. So what do you expect? More heat will be generated, and this wire will get melted, and in that process it may produce spark or catch fire. So your whole wiring will get burned, and that's why you must not do things like this. Okay, you must take precautions. You must not connect lots of devices to one point. Otherwise, due to this overloading, it may catch fire. It may burn all the your wiring of your house or school or any building. Okay, so this is overloading. Now next topic is your power. Now what is power? We have defined power in class 9th also, and here also we are going to define. So what is power? See, power, start writing the definition first. Okay, the rate of doing work or consumption of energy is called power. Okay. Full stop. It is a scalar quantity denoted by P, capital P, and has SI unit joule per second or watt, which we denote by W. Okay, power, SI unit of power, which SI unit? SI unit is joule per second or watt. Okay. Now let me tell you what is the meaning of this definition. The rate of doing work you know very well. If two bodies are there, one is doing the work faster, another is doing slower. So the body which is doing work faster has got more power. Okay. Now what is the use of using the word consumption of energy? See, if a child is, suppose someone of your classmate citing you a LED bulb and asking you, just tell me where this work is done. Because for work, you know from class 9th, there must be application of force as well as displacement. Only then the work is done. But you cannot show in the LED where the force is applied and where displacement is there. So other part of the definition means that the rate of consumption of energy, that means with what speed it is consuming energy, that is called its power. Suppose the energy consumed is E and time taken to consume that energy is T. So what you will get? Suppose in time T it has consumed energy E. See, in unit time how much energy it will consume? E by T. So the energy consumed per unit time, that is called power. Okay. Got it? Now we can write the expression for it. Okay. In the same way we can write the expression for it, which we get from the definition. Power is equals to either work by time or it is power is equals to energy by time. Okay. Also you can find out work from here if you know the power into time. But here we don't require work more, we require energy more. Okay. So power into time is energy. Okay. Now see, here in this context, in the context of electricity, we have found out the heat energies. Okay. So we know that we can write here P is equals to H by T. Okay. We have got different formulas for heat. First one was H is equals to I square RT. If we use this one, then formula for power will be what? I square RT upon T. T gets cancelled. What we get? P is equals to I square R. This is the formula for power. Okay. Now, next formula, because we have got 3 formulas of H, so we get 3 formulas for power. Okay. Next, number 2, we know that H is equals to V square by R into T. So, what will the power? Power is V square by R into T. H by T is there. So, this T. This T cancels out. Power is V square by R. Now, for the third equation, third formula, we know that H is equals to how much? VIT. Okay. So, power will be how much? Again, H by T. So, H is VIT and this T is there. So, T gets cancelled out. We have got power is equals to VI. So, these are the 3 formulas we have got for power. Okay. Now, when we have got these 3 formulas, okay. See, the commercial unit of power is horsepower, that is HP. And 1 HP is how much? 746 watt. See, what is the meaning of commercial? Commercial means when you go to the market. Okay. So what you find, you want to buy a motor or a tool pump or a car. So when we are talking about the power of the engine of the car or of the motor, so they always tell you in terms of horsepower. Okay. And that's why this unit is called commercial unit. In the same way, the commercial unit of electrical energy, okay, commercial unit of electrical energy. See, this is power is there, then I am coming to the electrical energy. Okay, electrical energy. Energy is kilowatt hour. That we write kWh. Okay, kilowatt hour. But by seeing this watt, many students think that it is the unit of power. But remember, what you are doing here, kilo means 1000. Here what we are having basically watt and hour. See, we know that energy is power into time. Power is watt, time is hour. So this is a unit of energy, not power. So don't get confused at all. Okay. So what is the value of 1 kilowatt hour? You know, kilo means 1000. So 1000 into 1 is how much? 1000 watt hour you are having. Now, what is the, how can you convert this hour into second? 1 hour is how many seconds? 3600. So 1,000 into 36120. This is watt as it is. This has become second instead of hour. Now, what is watt? This we can write like this: 36, 2 zeros, then these 3 zeros. Watt is joule per second. Okay, and here we have got second already. Second cancels out. So we have got how much? 36, 2 zeros, comma 3 zeros. This much joule. So 1 kilowatt hour is this much joule. If you want to write in scientific notation, you can write 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. Okay. So this is the value of 1 kilowatt hour. Remember, if you might have heard, okay, your parents are talking or maybe your neighbors are talking, okay, that this month they have got a electricity bill, okay, which has come from the electricity office, and the units of electricity they have used suppose 300 units this month. So what is this unit? Let me tell you, this unit is nothing but kilowatt hour. Okay, 1 unit is 1 kilowatt hour. Unit means kilowatt hour. Clear? So that's all about this chapter. Okay, with this we have finished this chapter. I hope all of you are studying properly, all of you are taking care of yourself and your family. Okay, because I know all of you are the future of our country. Thank you, my dear children. Keep on studying. In the next video, you will get the solution of all the NCERT questions, okay, of this chapter. With this promise, thank you and take care.